Hurricane Sandy's destruction included thousands of cars across the entire northeast U.S. Demand for replacement vehicles is soaring, an environment ripe for buyers to pick up a good deal and for sellers to unload a few lemons. To help you avoid the latter, Michael J. Sachs, automotive consumer advocate and director of communications for LemonLaw.com, is here to help. Let's cut right to the chase. What would be the top 5 things you'd look for to determine whether a car is a lemon?
Well, first and foremost, you need to try it before you buy it. Before you sign on that dotted line, you need to try every single feature and make sure it works. And if it doesn't work, you need to ask the dealer why. Do not settle for these IOU slips. They're pretty much useless. If it's an IOU, chances are that's a promise, and that could be an empty promise in the future. Also, you want to research. The information superhighway is ripe with exciting information about all the great cars and all the great features out there. Take advantage of it. Then you want to check out Carfax or any similar program, but Carfax basically is the best. Make sure that there is no lemon history, no reconstructed history, and now most especially no flood history. Take a sniff test. This is very interesting. Go around the carpet, around the seats, smell it, especially now that we're in this Hurricane Sandy environment. We want to make sure that these cars do not have a moldy or musty smell. And fifth and final, know your warranty. Make sure if you're purchasing a used car that you have a manufacturer's warranty. That means the manufacturer is going to stand behind the quality of the vehicle. If you don't have a manufacturer's warranty and you have a problem down the road, you could be plagued with other issues, and you could find yourself spending more for a used car than you would for a new car.
Now, a lot of times it's a function of what we see. You know, the salesman will open up the hood and show you a nice shiny engine, everything looks good, and maybe they've deodorized it, it smells good. But is it more a function, at least finding a lemon or a potential lemon, more a function of the questions that you ask?
It's a great question, Brian. We have something at LemonLaw.com in our featured information section. It's called the Lemon Dodger Worksheet. You need to do your homework. You cannot just trust the dealer. You need to ask specific questions. How many owners owned this car previously? How did you obtain this car? Does this car have a certified pre-owned program through the manufacturer? Is the manufacturer giving it a 100-point test to make sure everything's working properly? You need to ask the right questions, and if those questions are not answered properly, you need to walk away.
When you say certified pre-owned, I mean, we used to call them used cars. Now they're pre-owned. What's the difference?
Well, used cars are exactly that. They've been used. Pre-owned is a new term, and a lot of these manufacturers have these CPO programs. The certified pre-owned programs means there's normally a 100-point check. There's normally an extended manufacturer's warranty, and there's additional protection provided by that manufacturer. That assures you that the manufacturer is standing behind the quality of the vehicle. Now, of course, if you're buying a Toyota, you should only be able to get a CPO Toyota from a Toyota dealership. Beware of the mom and pop shops that may say Jones Automotive pre-owned. It's not exactly the same thing.
There's an interesting contrast I wanted to ask you about. You have those dealer cars that are, you know, almost new. They've either got their low mileage, but they call them dealer cars. Then you've got your pre-owned and the mom and pop used car. How do you make the distinction?
Well, the dealer car normally is used as a demo, that loaner car that when we go into the shop for a repair, we get this demo. Maybe it's never been titled to anyone other than the dealership. Maybe it's only been driven as a partial rental from time to time or by dealer personnel. It could be the general manager, it could be the salesman, it could be someone's spouse driving that vehicle. When you get into the certified pre-owned, as we discussed, you have that manufacturer's warranty. That's covered under federal laws if, God forbid, you have problems down the road. You get into those used mom and pop cars, that's where the problems really begin. I always tell people, if you're buying a used vehicle, hire an outside mechanic to take a look at that vehicle before you buy it. It's $100, $150, but that money can save you thousands down the road.
Right. What about the idea of renting those or buying a rental car? You know, you've got Enterprise and Avis and all this, and then they sell those cars.
They do sell them, and often at a discount. You still have to ask the right questions, and many times these cars no longer have their manufacturer's warranty. So if they're outside of that bumper-to-bumper warranty, you need to be especially careful. Also, here's a quick question for you, Brian. When you drive a rental car, do you really give it the same amount of concern and caution as when you're driving your own car. Maybe you're braking a little short. Maybe you're not watching it when you're parking and you bump into the other door. You need to be aware that drivers are not taking care of these rental cars the same way they would take care of their own vehicles.
Sure. Let's talk about that Carfax. How much can we trust that? Is that something?
It is not the end-all be-all. It is definitely not the end-all be-all. It is reliant upon other information that is provided by police stations and body shops and insurance companies. And there are many instances where you will find that there is no mention of an accident on Carfax, and yet the car has been in an accident, because instead of reporting the car to the insurance company, they just take it to the body shop to be fixed. Why would they do this? Because they want to save money when they're trading it in. They get a better trade-in value if that Carfax is clean. So don't just rely on one thing. We've talked about before here on Ebru today about your toolbox. You want to do your research. You want to take a look at the various information that's available. Create your toolbox. Don't rely on one specific tool. Carfax is one specific tool. It can help you find your way, but you need to use other tools as well to make a competent decision.
Real quick, what are remedies available for people who do think they've got a lemon?
Well, if you have a new vehicle and you're back in 3 or more times for the same problem, or you're out of service for a number of days, you are entitled to possibly a new vehicle or a complete refund. If you have a used vehicle and you're under manufacturer's warranty and you've been out of service 3 or more times, you could be entitled to significant monetary compensation. You can go to lemonlaw.com for more information. All 50 states have lemon laws, and the federal Magnus and Moss Warranty Act runs throughout the country. So know your rights, and those laws provide completely free legal representation. So take advantage of it.
All right, good to know there are protections.
Thank
Mike,
you, Brian.
thank you very much for coming through. Always
My
insightful.
pleasure.